Now to a stunning revelation in a new book by the younger sister of actress Natalie Wood. Her 1981 death has been one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries, especially after that case was reopened in 2011. Well, now her sister is sharing her story with some explosive accusations, and NewsNation's Felicia Bolton is here with the details.
Yeah, she's not only talking about her sister's death. Lana Wood is also discussing some things that were quite rumors at the time when it comes to her sister. In her book, Lana Wood reveals her own theory of how her sister died. She also pulls back the curtain on an alleged sexual assault that happened with a teenage Natalie, and one of Hollywood's most beloved actors at the time.
In her second book, Lana Wood continues her search to find out how her sister Natalie died. Both were Hollywood superstars in the 70s. Police say Natalie Wood was on her yacht during a visit to Catalina Island with her husband Robert Wagner, friend Christopher Walken, and boat captain Dennis DeVerne. At one point, she vanished and her body was found the morning of November 29, 1981. Her death was ruled an accidental drowning and police closed the case 2 weeks later. But her sister Lana believes Natalie was murdered. In 2011, investigators reopened the case, and in 2018, they later labeled her death suspicious and named her husband Robert Wagner as a person of interest.
As a result of these efforts, witnesses were identified in 2011 and 2012 that weren't previously known. This case remains a suspicious circumstances death, and the information that came forward in 2011 and 2012 has helped present a more articulate timeline in this case.
There's actually more than one witness who came forward and heard them on the back of the boat arguing. And what's important about that is they corroborate what Dennis DeVerne was saying, that he was on the boat and heard the arguing, and that it was really intense and so bad that he had went down to the cabin to check on them because he was worried that there was some kind of assault going on. And that's when he was told to go away by Robert Wagner. And then Natalie and Robert Wagner end up on the back of the boat arguing, and then it goes quiet.
In her book, Lana Wood writes, "I kept waiting to feel excitement or surprise or relief. It didn't happen. Person of interest was progress, but not a suspect meant there was still a long way to go before maybe finally Wagner would be properly interrogated." Lana Wood alleges Wagner knocked her sister unconscious. Then, in a panic, he dumped her body in the water. Also, the book confirms one of Hollywood's darkest rumors, that 16-year-old Natalie Wood was brutally assaulted by a top movie star and director more than twice her age. Lana identifies the assailant as Kirk Douglas. Douglas died last year at 103 years old. His son Michael issued a statement saying, "May they both rest in peace."
And Natalie Wood's husband, Robert Wagner, is now 91 years old. We did reach out to him about this book and the allegations. So far, we have not received a response. Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies, the Homicide Bureau there, says at this time, Natalie Wood's case is still open. They are hoping anyone still alive will reveal more details into her death. There are a lot of questions when it comes to this one, Marnie.
And a sister on a mission to find some answers.
Yes.
All right, Felicia, thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.